So yeah. So what does the organization do?
Grow. So it's we do like a process group. We go into these middle schools and we get a group of kids and we do like a process group to be able to sort of give them a venue to be able to give and support, give and receive support for each other and
Nice.
talk about the very real challenges that they're going through. I
Mm-hmm.
think that a lot of these schools too, they were like very rigorous academically. They were like the KIPP schools, that type of thing. And so there was a lot of emphasis on the academics, and they studies and just sort of common sense dictates that if you pound the shit out of a kid to perform academically, but you're doing this on a weak foundation, then it's just going to crumble.
Yeah.
So like, let's help to shore up the foundation. And it was a great way to get to know kids. It's a great jumping off point. So you can, we helped some of them to get into great private high schools. And what we found though is that like a lot of them have gone on to college, and a lot of us were like, oh, like, done, okay,
Mm-hmm.
we've run the race. But it's not, you haven't won the race, you've just begun a brand new race. So there's a pretty high attrition rate once they get to college. So I think that that's sort of the next phase that should be addressed, in terms of just getting some resources to these kids.
This is happening. You're doing this as you're living in. Is it Silicon Valley that you're living in now?
Yeah.
And you are still with. Is it Larry?
Larry, yeah.
So you're bored of the PTA life. You turn your attention to creating this nonprofit.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You told me this story about.
My jeans.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I loved. I love that story. Would you tell it again?
Sure. So when I was down here visiting, actually I was in rehab. I went shopping at Fred Siegel, and I saw this like beautiful pair of jeans. It's like fucking $350 pair of jeans, and I was like, oh, those are fucking bomb. So I tried them on, and they're like meant for a Norwegian girl, like a 6 foot tall fucking like blonde girl with no hips.
Right.
So I'm trying to squeeze into them, and I'm like an Asian girl who's short and has a little ass and legs, and they were so uncomfortable. Like, I still have them. When I put them on, I'm like, it's like skin on a sausage.
Yeah.
But I was like bound, set, and determined that I was going to fucking wear these jeans.
Mm-hmm.
And, they squeeze my ass in. They're too big in the waist. They're just not for me. But I tried desperately to squeeze into them. And that was sort of a really good parable for my life.
Yes.
in the valley.
Yeah.
I lived in this beautiful suburb, this like really, affluent, beautiful, safe, like everything that I wanted as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I would look around and I'd be like, I should be like fucking thrilled. I should be doing backflips. I lived in this beautiful house, this like massive house, we had gardeners, like just, everything that I ever dreamed about as a little kid, like I was like, it's happening, it's happened. And I wanted that kind of life for my daughter.
Yeah.
But I found, for me, it was airless. It was like an airless container, and it was, I was like trying to squeeze my ass into this fucking pair of jeans that didn't fit.
Right.
So it was always very uncomfortable for me, and I couldn't really find my tribe. I couldn't really find people to hook into. I'm a girl who thrives on family and tribe, and I didn't really get a strong sense of that there. And maybe, part of that is probably on me. Maybe it was where I was in my life, because I found that when I got sober the first time in 2008, I decided that the wild girl who was featured in the movie didn't have a role in my life. Like, she was just fucking bad, and I was going to banish her. So I just kind of like crumpled her up and stuffed her in a box, and I was like, you stay there.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of lived a half life, because I wasn't a whole. I wasn't whole.
Yeah.
I hadn't accepted myself. I hadn't really merged all the different aspects of my being. I'm still in the fucking process of doing that, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But, and then she kind of came out, and she came out roaring with a vengeance, so, had to deal with that.